Hello everybody, it's Bills.com football guy here with another video. So the title, even with the lawsuit, is there any way Miami could get back into getting into the Big Ten of the SEC? And for those who don't know what the lawsuit is, this has to go under the allegedly tab because it's not criminally confirmed, not criminally but not confirmed yet in court. This is a civil lawsuit between the University of Wisconsin and the University of Miami, the U from Florida. Basically what happened, there was a defensive back, Xavier Lucas, who was a part of the Wisconsin roster and actually had signed an NIL contract with Wisconsin, and Miami poached him. So they're suing. Wisconsin is suing Miami for unspecified financial damages and a declaratory judgment. I'm not going to get into the minutiae of the lawsuit because everybody and their mother's done that already. And the Big Ten, they basically said the fact that Miami's actions were irreconcilable. Basically means like we can't ever condone this. Most people take that as the fact that the doors permanently slammed closed on Miami coming into the Big Ten. We've seen enough in collegiate athletics to know nothing's ever slammed shut. Like I talk about the fact about the SEC would show up with gas. Miami was on fire with tankers of gasoline and marshmallows, and the only reason they only have the marshmallows is because the tractor trailers that are carrying the graham crackers and the chocolate bars were stuck on the 95 because Miami can't fix its damn roads. But even with that, Miami still has a shot at getting in the SEC. Even with all of that, they still have a shot. The door is not completely shut. Now, so there's still technically a possibility. Now, can they get in right now? Absolutely not. No way. There's no way in the world they're going to get into it. But is there a way to in the future? Is there anything that they could do that can improve this? That can make them look better? Yeah, I think there's one. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be cheap. But it would not shut the door completely. And in time, perhaps a change can be made. But what could they do? Some of you are saying right now, there's nothing they can do. Yeah, there is. And being a Tennessee fan, I know. The Jeremy Pruitt situation. The University of Tennessee hired an outside law firm with their investigators to basically crawl up the ass of the athletic department and find out everything that was done. Every impropriety, everything, and did a comprehensive report to the NCAA on those violations, which, the NCAA said the fact that was the most comprehensive, most cooperation they ever received from anybody ever, because they basically did the NCAA's job for them, and they went above and beyond even what the NCAA does, because they didn't want any of it coming back on them. That philosophy is what Miami's going to have to do. You need to hire an outside law firm who is going to dismantle, but is going to get in everybody's business in the athletic department. Athlete, coach, administration, everybody. Go after everybody, invest everything. If anybody does not want to cooperate, the same thing in Tennessee. You don't want to cooperate? Bye. You're gone. See ya. Because after that whole Jeremy Pruitt situation was gone to Tennessee, no one that had anything to do with this, whether administration, coaching, or player, anybody involved was gone. If Miami wants to fix this, you're going to have to spend a lot of money. Tennessee spent millions on the law firm to get this fixed. You're going to have to spend millions on that as well. Spend millions of dollars on getting this fixed. You're going to have to get, and anybody who's involved in this, whether administration, coaching, Mario Cristobal included, player, everybody gone, without exception. You publicly make a statement that the action that were conducted by those who have been removed from this program do not reflect the actions of the University of Miami. We do not tolerate or condone this. And nothing that we say, nothing that we can do can make up for the actions of those who left and caused this situation. And we will forever be having to apologize for the actions of those people. Nice PR statement. Something to go out to say that, but you're going to have to. You got to fire Cristobal? Fire Cristobal. Because what's more important to you? Keeping your head coach or getting an invite. Now, the fact is this with this scenario that I'm proposing, I'm still not done with it yet. Would this guarantee you? No, but it give you a shot. Because it show you, and I'll get into more of it. It shows the fact you're willing to do something. It's gonna be expensive, very expensive. So, I said, anybody involved, gone. Procedures in place. Anything done. Recommendation outside council, whoever, to put policies in place that this never happens again. Subject, any coach or member of administration who has this is automatically terminated. And anybody who knew about it and said nothing is terminated as well. You make sure this never happens again. You have to go through, and you're going to be having to do the lawsuit with them and offer to settle. Whatever Wisconsin puts out in front of you, pay more. Pay more than what Wisconsin's offering. Pay their legal fees. Pay everything. Formal apology. Again, you keep apologizing and keep money on there. Formal apology to the Big Ten, if you so requested. Wisconsin at the minimum. You have to talk to Wisconsin. But you have to do this. You have to, okay? You have to do this. Now, with paying all the money, with making the changes, with gutting the athletic department and firing and getting rid of everybody involved in this, whether student, athlete, coach, or administration, you do all of that. Does this guarantee you a shot in the Big Ten? No. Does it give you a shot to at least be given a polite courtesy in 5 to 6 years? If Wisconsin accepts it. Because if Wisconsin does not accept this, you'd have to win over Wisconsin to get in the Big Ten. Wisconsin would have to agree. Because if Wisconsin doesn't agree to get you in, nobody in the Big Ten is going to support you. Because they were the ones who got hurt the worst. If they're willing to give you a second chance, then everybody else would be. So you have to win Wisconsin over, no matter what it takes. Will the SEC touch them? No. Big Ten, I can't say the SEC wouldn't touch them, but remote possibility. Remote. Big Ten, same thing. But whatever Wisconsin wants in this settlement, you're going to do it. And then some. To prove you're not this. It's the only way you're going to get around it. You're going to have to do that and win Wisconsin over. As I said, if you come up and apply, if Wisconsin doesn't agree that you should be listened to for membership, if Wisconsin says no, doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. No one in the Big Ten is going to agree because they got screwed over worse than anybody. And nobody else in the conference is going to speak out against them. Now, if Wisconsin agrees, you get a second chance. That's a hell of a statement. So you have to win them over. And it's going to take years to get this done. But you have years. A few. You don't. This isn't going to happen. Like what most likely, even with all of this I'm suggesting gets done, are they probably going to end up in the Big Ten? No, I don't think so. But if you did all this and won Wisconsin over, could you have a shot? Yeah, you have a shot. But Florida State has to get their academics in order. Because they are woefully behind in terms of research dollars spent. As I said earlier, between Florida State, Miami, and Georgia Tech, 2 of the 3 were getting in. Georgia Tech is pretty much a shoo-in at this point. The question is Florida State. Can Florida State get in? Because Miami, I thought was going to be in because of AAU. Florida State is not AAU. Can they get AAU in time? At least have that minimal. Get in the Big Ten. Big Ten, well, academics shouldn't matter. You're not the Big Ten. You're not the chancellors and university presidents. You're not the one making that call. You don't think it matters. But if it's painfully obvious, it does matter to them. Whether you like it or not. Academics matter to them. Now that I've said the scenario of what they should do for a shot, what do I realistically think is going to happen? They're not getting into the Big Ten of the SEC. Let me put this down. I think realistically, they're looking at joining. They're going to be the alpha dog of the ACC, because I mentioned this in comments to Numbskull News. I'm looking at you, brother. Where he does his thing about Big 12 and ACC viewership. And last season, only 3 schools were averaging over 1 million views a game. Clemson, Florida State, Miami. Well, Miami doing what they do, they're not going to get picked up. So Clemson, they're going to have, ACC's going to have one. But Clemson and Florida State do the most of the viewership. And that's a hell of a lot of viewership to make up. And they're going to lose other schools as well between the SEC and the Big Ten. Miami would become the alpha dog of the ACC and would rule over it like they did the Big East. Maybe that's what they need. But they're going to have to replace the ACC down the road. It's going to have to replace viewership. And I brought this up. Everybody thought I was crazy with Oregon State and Washington State being on the short list and Army and Navy being considered. Do you understand the fact that if you took the average viewership over the last 5 years and you with Clemson, Florida State, Miami, 1, 2, in that particular order, but those 3 in the top 3. Clemson, Florida State, Miami, and those 3 up there. If you added Oregon State, Washington State, Army, and Navy, not in that order, if you added those 4 schools in there, they would rank 4 through 7 in viewership. Why do you think they're on the short list? If you lose Clemson and Florida State's viewers, they are fit. They have Clemson, Oregon State, and Washington State are improving their academics even more than they had before in the Pac-12. Army and Navy have very high academics. Army and Navy be football onlys. And it would help bring in some viewership to make up for some of the losses. I'm sure ESPN's going to, hey, I'm not going to curtain, but hey, ACC, you might want to add these guys. But that's me spitballing. But realistically, even with all this, and the scenario I said, when they pull a page out of Tennessee's playbook, even with all that being said, can they realistically get in the Big Ten or the SEC? Probably not. They're going to be in the ACC until 2036. And then when that deal ends, then we're going to see what the new ACC deal is. And that's going to be a whole nother round of things going to be happening. Miami will be in the catbird seat. I mean, there's no disputing that. They're going to be at the top of the food chain in the ACC. They're also an AAU institution like-minded. I don't think the ACC is going to kick them out. Not for this. Just for the betterment of the conference. They're not going to do it. So, realistically, Florida State might have just gotten their ticket punched to the Big Ten, along with Georgia Tech. Miami's going to be running the ACC in football pretty much like they ran the Big East, because there's not going to be anybody else who's a legitimate threat after everybody else leaves to go to the Big Ten, the SEC, respectively. With this happening and the Big 12 and the money situation being, I don't see the Big 12 grabbing anybody from the ACC prior to 2036. Because unless something becomes dire that we do not know about, I mean, I've said Louisville potentially could go, but unless something dire that happens that we don't know, because you can't predict the future, unless something dire happens, I don't see that happening. You're going to have the SEC and the Big Ten school who leave the ACC for the SEC and the Big Ten respectively. They'll go. And everybody else be like, okay, we don't have to leave. Let's stick together till 2036. add in, plug in what we want to do, whatever that is, basketball, football, whatever, plug that in, take care of that. And then when that's done, when the contract comes up, then we see what we got. Because if you're a top football school, like a Miami, like Louisville, you're going to make a lot more money in the ACC. So you're not going to jump before 2036. Because it depends on who leaves. North Carolina leaves. Big name with Belichick, that's fine, but you got Bill for 2 years. That's not going to help you by the time 2031 rolls around. You got him for 25 and 26. Yippee. You got 7, 8, 9, and 30 to worry about. No. So, losing them and the football brands. But viewership will be there, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But like I said, to wrap this up succinctly and put it simply, if Miami pulls a page out of the Tennessee playbook and grovels and begs Wisconsin for forgiveness, because that's exactly what they're going to have to do. If that happens, do they have a shot of getting listened to? If, and only if, Wisconsin says yes to that. Because if Wisconsin says no, done. You have no chance. None whatsoever. Wisconsin has you by the short hairs. And if they say no, no one in the Big Ten's not touching you. The SEC doesn't like you because of all the derogatory comments. They say, "What? Why is there legitimate hatred?" There's members of the SEC, of the Miami administration who have looked down at the Big 12, saying they're academically inferior, including launching insults at Vandy. That's not tolerated in the SEC. Vandy is not the best athletic in terms of athletics, but you don't question Vanderbilt's academics. That is one thing you don't do. They've been AAU for a very long damn time. Miami's been there for a cup of coffee. In fact, they were talking down Vandy before they even were AAU. That's how far back this goes. So, let them rot on the vine. I think that probably is going to be the Big Ten and the SEC's attitude. Let them rot on the vine. Let them stay in the ACC. They can have fun with that and run that like a conference like they're going to run, like they ran the Big East back in the day. Maybe that's needed to bring back the glory days. Be the alpha dog of a conference that's not as big as everybody else. But I don't see it. I can see that them doing this is the only way they even have a shot. But the question is this. Do everything settle if they don't have a shot and you know you're not getting in? No matter what you do. Do you still do it? Yeah, you do. Because you never know, they may change their mind down the road. And at least you tried. You don't even try, permanently closed. Because you're going to have to, whether you don't get it in this time or not, if Notre Dame decides to join later on and you want to get another school involved in there, you would be on the list if you did what I suggested. You groveled. You begged. You may not get in, but at least you showed you tried. But I've done enough flapping my lips here. Let me know what you think about all this down in the comments. So again, thanks everybody for watching the video. If you haven't done it already, do me the favor. Smash the like button. Hit the thumbs up. It helps the algorithm as the video be seen by more people. Comment on the video. Oh, several questions we got to get into on this one. One. For a question I never asked, but I was going to save this for the end. Is Wisconsin going to win the lawsuit? Question 1. Question 2. Should Miami take a page out of the Tennessee playbook, hire an outside law firm to completely tear apart the athletic department to find out who is involved in this, and whether they're administrating, coaching, or athlete, anyone involved is gone? Should they do that? And whether they do it or not, would the Big Ten still take them? Would the SEC take them? Let me say what you think about that down in the comments. Share the video if you want to. And if you haven't done it already, check out some of the other videos I've done, because I've done quite a few. If you like the video, hey, subscribe to the channel. You know, I really would appreciate it. On the road to 1K. We're getting there. We're past 900. 920 at the time of the recording of this video. We're getting there. slowly but surely. But I really appreciate it. And like, check out the videos I've done. If you like them, hey, subscribe. I appreciate it. More videos on the way. Saw the big break I did. And as people mentioned me in the comments section, I did so many schedule prediction videos, I kind of burned myself out. Because I got a lot more to do. And burning myself out is not going to help anybody with this. So basically what I'm going to do is all the ones that have been done on the subscriber roll call videos I've done, I will finish all those up. And once I'm caught up, I'll open it up again. And I'll probably put down a predetermined number of how many schools I'm gonna take. Because know how many I can get in here to make sure I get the videos done. But we'll see. So I got a lot of videos still left to go. Look at that list. I'm like, man, you got 2 columns a page and you're on your second page. There's a lot of schools. So again, thanks everybody for watching. Hope everybody's having a great day. More videos coming. Be safe out there, and please be good to each other.